Hello, welcome to Bars and Bells. My name is Ian.
And I'm Lauren.
And this is the Barre class specializing this semester with our push-ups and our pliés for those hip mobility drills and full body strength. As usual, Lauren will start with a warm-up. As usual, we'll ask you to hit the subscribe button, like, share, and join us. Follow along, more than just watch. Let's follow along with Lauren's warm-up.
All right, let's start with the feet. So nice feet rooted in the floor, toes spread out, balls of feet, heels touching, butt cheek squeezed, kneecaps pulled up, ribs over, hips square to the front of the room. That's just the start. Let's push down and gently find our first balance up. Take your time getting up nice and high, and then let's descend nice and slowly. Let's repeat that again, going up, pushing down. Then we'll keep one heel off the floor and we'll place the other down. So we'll have one bent, one straight leg. We'll press up and switch through that. Let's do that 2 more times on each side. We're thinking about keeping our knee forward and our ankle forward. Nice soft landing. And then this time we'll come up, we'll land, we'll do our light toe point, flex and roll over those toes, go back over the toes and go double up. Whoops, control the down. Pointy point. Flex, roll over. We're pretty tall and firm on that standing leg. Our cheeks are nice and squeezed as we come down with an extended hip. One last time on each side as we roll through those toes, the opposite way they go throughout the day. And then this time we'll add our knee bend. So we'll come up, we'll come down to that one foot again. But this time that knee will bend, hips will lightly sit back, and then we'll extend the hip through to tall, up and switch sides. Knee bend, hips lightly tip back, extend through, press up to tall. One more time each side here. Both knees are in the forward direction. We're sinking as low as we can, working on that ankle mobility as we send the knee towards over the toe. This time, let's press up to that double balance. Stay heels up high, 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 high. Get as low as you safely can, but keep those heels up. Nice and controlled. Pause for a second. We're going back up. Push down to return to tall, 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 and then heels softly land on the floor. Next, we'll bend the knees with feet flat on the floor, sending them forward. We'll stay the same height and we'll peel up those toes again, holding. Now, could we put one heel down and then alternate heels, just pedaling them towards the floor, making those quads burn a little bit. And then let's end with both heels off the floor. Slowly descend all the way down. Soft landing onto knees. Hips will extend. Shake that out. Let's come down, warm up those wrists before our first warm-up set of push-ups. With those hands nicely landing on the floor through the fingers and then the callus line, we'll gently shrug our shoulders into our ears. I don't know, but then we definitely do know, and we know we don't want those shoulders there as we do our push-ups. So pull them down, engage those lats. Rotate those elbow pits so they're facing forward and your elbows are nice and straight. Let's gently do a little pull forward, drifting shoulders towards over fingertips, and then we'll use our fingers to send ourselves back. Repeat that one more time. Light drift forward, elbows stay nice and straight. This time as we push ourselves back, flick the floor away, shake that out. Let's spend a second in our splits and we'll return to that top position of the push-up.
Lauren's already addressed that tailbone in that squat, and right now we also want those hips slightly tipped back like cow or that anterior tip. Choose your foot shape for now, either the dorsiflex or foot to shin shape or those gorgeous ballet points, but maybe that shape is best for now. So with our tailbone tip, let's keep our spine nice and long, and from here, hinge on the hip, much like that kettlebell swing, pushing the sternum forward. Making sure that that low back isn't rounding, looking at Lauren's side profile, I think that looks pretty darn good. And then just ease off that tension and return to nice and tall. Let's do that one more time here as you reach long away from the hips here, keeping the anterior or cow tip. Nice spine extension. And from there, just back up to tall. That's one way we can activate that stretch on those adductors in our split. And also, we can make it a little more active. In this movement here, I'll be keeping my one leg super straight. That's my left leg, super straight. I take my hands and I often straddle that other leg then, and I'll gently at first, that word shows up a little bit, pull the heel into the floor to flex or bend the knee, and then ease off and straighten, and you might be able to wiggle that back. Let's stick with that same leg for 2 more in a row as we're sitting nice and tall, And we're gently at first driving the heel into the floor, feeling the recruitment of the inner groin here. And then extend and a little wiggle. Let's do that one more time. Maintain the breathing. Maintain that tension and actively stretch or strengthen these muscles here with nice variations of the split. Also, those kneecaps, right? They're facing the ceiling. That's for my little niece there working on the splits. And again, maintain that turnout. So let's do the same thing other side now. Slight rotations appropriate. Ground yourself and drive a heel into the floor, allowing yourself to bend on the knee. And then ease off. You might have to stay there, or it could wiggle just a little bit extra open. And same thing, create tension with a straight knee, and then that tension required to truly bend the knee by driving the heel into the floor. And then straighten. Perhaps that little extra wiggle open. And for the final repetition here, drive it down, maintaining our breathing of that nice extension shape through the spine as well. And then let it be. And perhaps just for one more time, reach towards forward. And maybe your goal is just flat hands with extension or elbows with extension. And ultimately that pancake forehead to the floor. Oh, could be so vicious, but could be so nice. But until we split again, I think it's back to the hands.
Get back over onto all fours here. We'll explore the 3 positions of the push-ups that we've been working on over the last 5 weeks. And we'll work on those today, as well as a fun new one just for fun. So let's come up to that top position. Our hands are slightly wider than they might be in our plank. Our shoulders are pulled down out of our ears and our butt cheeks are squeezed with a nice ab brace. We're in our top position here holding. Now keep that tension through your whole body as you pull yourself down to a 90-degree elbow. And hold. You could have your knees on the floor as needed. Then let's keep descending to that low position. Hold just hovering off the floor. With your knees or without, push down to press yourself back up. Let's repeat that one more time. High hold for 3, 2, mid station, hold, 3, 2, low hover, 3, 2, up, press to tall. This time, step your feet a little wider than your hips. Start tipping the tailbone up towards the ceiling. Walking your hands back, you'll end up in your low squat. This is how we'll get down and up out of our push-up position today. From our low squat, we'll extend our spine, push down and out on the floor, and stand up to tall. Give that a shake, a little bar, and then we'll be back to the floor for some push-ups.
It's the lower body things with me and those upper body, full body things with Lauren. So as Lauren said, let's grab that bar or balance aid and start with that nice rond de jambe or leg circle exercise to start. We have feet facing forward, and let's take that outside leg and tendu or point the foot to the front. Then change the foot shape again, and at the hip, we'll do that external rotation, kneecap away from the bar, and then the internal rotation on the hip, kneecap towards your midline or towards that bar. Let's repeat that again as we do our turn out. We'll repeat one more repetition of our turn in, and ultimately finishing in that turned out position with our toe point. Then take that leg to the side. And if you look down, the toe should be just about in line with your standing foot. But then manipulate the ankle to change the shape there to the dorsiflex, and then turn in on the hip, keeping the knee straight. It's likely to want to bend, and then externally rotate, turn open. Repeat turning in or close. Repeat turning open. And for one more repetition, turn in and point, and now get tall as you can on that standing leg as you adduct or bring the leg underneath. Then with the same leg, we'll take it to the back and this time implement that ballet point foot. And like a key in a lock, externally rotate or turn out of the hip and bring it from the back to the side, from the side on to the front, and then push the hip through and pull up to our next little balance here, that ankle or coup de pied. Stay nice and tall, perhaps test yourself with or without the bar. Right now, keep the knee forward. We'll open it up to the side in a second, but return the foot to the floor at the toes first, and then cramp those glutes to extend the hip and straighten the knee. Let's repeat that on the other side. So the standing hip for stability, that moving hip, mobility. We take the point foot to the midline out front. We change the foot shape, and we keep the knee straight as we do our external rotation or turn out, and then replicate the turn in. On the turn in, emphasize that standing hip is pushing forward. On the turn out, make sure the hip didn't move. The leg moves, but not the hip. We'll repeat that one more time as we turn in, and then one more time as we turn out, and finish with a point, and then take it from the front to that side position. Manipulate the ankle and turn in on the hip. Keep the knee straight. Then externally rotate, show that inseam forward. Repeat that one more time, in, out, but then that last half repetition, in, and point the foot, and adductor, bring it underneath the hip. Last thing for me here is to take that same leg to the back, then open it from the back to the side, from the side on to the front, push the hip forward to bring the leg back, and when the foot's underneath the hip, pull up again and hang out in the balance with the hand on the bar, with the hand off the bar, with the eyes open or closed. Find the right way to challenge your balance, and then get the toes down, push the hips through, and then we're back to push-up set number one, I
just
guess.
as promised, we would get back down to the floor via that squat. So adjust your feet to your squat stance. Let's think about pulling the floors together as you bring yourself down. Once we're down here, ideally heels are down for now, but then we'll tip them up and we'll walk ourselves out into our push-up position. We're gonna spice it up a little bit on our first set here. So our hands are in our push-ups position and our hips are up. Next, we're gonna push our hands forward, sending our hips back. We're in this hover frog position. If it's too much, you can also go down to the knees. We'll pull on the floor, bringing ourselves into that top plank position. Let's just hold that for a second. And then let's do it again, adding the push-up. So our hips will go back, reaching long. Then we'll pull ourselves through. If you feel the desire, let's pull ourselves down to a push-up and press down to come back up. Let's repeat this exercise 2 more times. Hips go back into frog. Pull yourself forward, high position, cheeks squeezed, abs braced. Pull down, press down. One last time, hips back, hips through, tight cheeks. Push the floor down to come back up. Push the floor forward to come back into that low squat stance. Chest up, eyes up, down and away to stand up tall.
Those old school push-up, handstand, body weight variations making that appearance here. It's always nice to revisit some of our favorite exercises, but there's so many to choose from. So stick with us and we'll explore them all in time. But until then, it's back at the bar. Let's work on those squats as Lauren had prepared those knees and ankles. Go down on 2 feet. That's a parallel squat. And then just take the outside leg and reach it forward. Then leave it out front as you stand up on the single leg. Then repeat one more repetition of that single leg squat. And as you stand up this time, bring the leg back and extend the hip forward. Repeat the same thing to the side. So it's down on 2 feet. There will be a weight transfer, and then open the leg to the side. Leave it there as we extend the hip or stand up tall on one leg, then down on a single leg. And as we stand up, we'll just pull it back in together. Same thing as you reach back. Both knees bend, weight transfers to that inside leg. Test yourself with or without the hand on the bar, and then we'll stand up. Then we'll do our single knee bend again, and this time bring it all the way underneath. We'll eliminate the en croix or that extra one to the side for today. Let's just work on that balance again as you pull up to the ankle and with the hand on the bar or without or flat foot, or find that nice demi point or toes of balance. Toes of foot balance.
Toes of balance.
Yeah, there we go.
Rise.
If we can make jokes and balance, we must be doing something right here.
Sounds like a fantasy
And then
book.
slowly return to the floor. Then get the toes to touch first and extend the hip through on top. What we do to one side, we want to do to the other. So switch on over, and we'll do the same thing now over here. It was down on 2 feet, a single leg out front, stand up nice and tall. Then our single leg squat down, and then as we extend the hip through, we'll pull that leg back. Down on 2, out to the side. Hold, then stand, and then bend the ankle, bend that knee, and then bring everything together standing tall. It's to the back for the last one, the squat variations. That's right, Lauren, we're down on 2. We're back on 1. We stand up on 1. We'll go down on 1, and we'll return back to standing tall on 2 feet before we take away that leg again and hold a nice low balance. And with the hands on the bar or in that first position, the hips is appropriate too. Breathing is essential. And then slowly return to the floor. Toes touch. Squeeze your glutes through like it's easy. Shake it out, wiggle it. Push-ups again.
So we've been working on that number, beautiful number 5. Let's take out the frog position and do 5 regular push-ups, whether that's from your toes or from your knees. Here we go. We'll pull ourselves down. We'll walk out to that high push-up position. Elbows are out a little bit, shoulders are pulled down out of your ears. Let's try to break 90 degrees at the elbows every time. We'll pull ourselves down, push the floor down to come back up. Inhale, up to tall. Use those cheeks as you push the floor away. Keep the tension through your core so you're tight as a board. Keep your chin tucked and head in line. And then we'll adjust the feet to that squat position. Push our hands forward to get back to that low stance and press through up to tall. Shake it out. We'll return to the frog next time.
Awesome. And then we're back to the bar. Here we go. Let's continue another ronde de jambe style exercise, but this time with a bent knee. So we'll pull up to the ankle where we've been before, but transition further, if allowed, towards that passe or knee position. We like to bike, and as you bike, your bum needs to sit on your seat when the leg goes high. So as that cue, keep the hip low as you lift your leg high. Let's just open that to the side and keep that same cue in mind. Now, keep the knee generally in the same position, and we'll internally rotate on the hip, meaning a turn in action, and then pull the leg back together so your knees are now touching. Slight cat or posterior tuck of the hip to protect your spine, and use your glutes as you extend or reach back with a bent leg. Then the knee goes wide, pointing towards Lauren as my foot comes underneath the hip. Then we'll just close that up to the middle, get the toes to touch, push the hip through, and repeat one more time. Pull up, leg or femur goes high, but the hip stays low. Then open the leg to the side with the hip staying forward. Then we'll do our turn in action on the hip, hug the knees back together, get them to parallel, tuck the hips cat, protect the spine, reach back. Then the knee would find your training partner at the side, and let's just stay there this time, and hold. Hand on the bar, hand on hips, think higher and higher and higher with the hip staying nice and low. Then to finish that, let's just close it back to the middle, the toes touch, then we extend those hips over top. Make it easy on your knee, utilize the contact with the foot, and power through with the glutes. Repeating the same thing on the other side. So pull up to the front, leg high, hip low. Cramp your standing leg as we open that up to the side. Now the knee hopefully stays in about the same position now as we turn in. Politely cramp those side glutes, and then adductor, bring the knees together. Tuck the hips, cramp the glute as we extend or reach back. Then the knee goes side and the foot goes underneath the hip, and we'll close that right back up to the middle. Let's keep it up this time and open it to the side. And squeeze, your standing leg bum cheek. We'll turn it on that hip next. We'll pull the legs together, standing tall as always, and we'll reach back, and I'm squeezing both butt cheeks here, and then we'll stop when that knee reaches to the side in that passe position, and hold. The ribs are over the hips, we're always tall and adding that length. Then we'll close that knee to the midline, the toes touch, the glutes squeeze through, and then we can shake it when we're done.
All right, ribbit, frog time. Let's go back to 3 repetitions of that frog push-up. It all starts again with that squat as we bring ourselves down. We'll walk ourselves out into that high push-up position, shoulders pulled down under your ears, hands gripping the floor. If there is that broomstick across your back, your head, your shoulders, and your bottom would be touching. Next, we'll push the floor forward, sending our hips back. Then we'll pull through, high position, pull yourself down, push the floor down to come back up. Repeat, hips go back, pull yourself through, pull down, push down, back up. One last time, through. All the tension in your abs and your cheeks as you pull down, push the floor down. This time, walk back to that frog, low squat position. Chest is lifted, down and away, tall. Woo, woo.
Awesome. Shaking it out, resting, wiggling, and also making up your own repetition counts if those 3s or 5s are a little bit too high. Choose time under tension in any one of those positions, or just stay loose and do whatever that is. Yeah.
I'm just waiting for my next cues.
Nice and loose. Okay, so we're back to the bar for our fondue exercise here, which revisits that single leg squat. As you pull up an outside leg to that ankle position, we'll end up doing our knee bend. Then both legs again will straighten together. From the front, we'll do the same thing then out to the side. And then the same thing out to the back as we extend. And then the same thing one more time as we open that to the side. Let's just close that up for a quick second because I forgot to turn out my feet. Lauren did beautifully. So let's turn out to that first position. If you hadn't, let's call that success, even though we can always modify. And let's just find a little tendu out to the side here. Then find that releve or single leg balance. Now let's repeat the same thing, finding the rise. So the knees bend together and the knees straighten together. The knees bend together and straighten. We go to the back next and full extension or straight. And then one more time, finishing at the side. Now find that passe position and with a hand on the bar, stay here, or with a flat foot on the ground, stay there and hold for time and breathe. And then with control, return to those 2 points and back down to that first-ish position. So let's get to that first position first. That's why it's called first, I think, or at least we can assume that. So as the knee bends together, we'll then straighten those legs together out front. They'll bend together with the knee facing side and shoot energy through those toes. It's fun. That's back ankle balance and a full leg stretch out there as well. And then one more time to the side and keep it there. Then find that demi point or balance on the other leg and we'll come down with the knees bending together and then straightening. The knees bend together and then fully straighten. It's last time to the back, down and stretch up. Absorb the down and power stretch up. Then higher as you can to that passe position. Focus on something straight ahead of you. Keep the rib cage over the hips. Nice stability on that demi point. And then return to 2 feet, heels down, back to push-ups.
We'll go back to those regular style push-ups and let's perform 5 reps again. But it's still pulling ourselves down to that squat, walking ourselves forward. Remembering you could do the push-up down from your toes and up from your knees, all from your knees or all from your toes. Here we go, up to 5. Pull yourself down, push down and go back up. Inhale, tight, tight. 2 more. Use your cheeks as you press the floor away. Last one. Adjust your foot stance. Push the floor forward. Walk your hands back. Heels will find the floor. Push up to tall.
Excellent. This next drill is something that we often just do with our bar or ballet instructor. Let's try this today. Little inside and outside circles at the knee. So you can stand in parallel or back into first and bring a leg out to the side. That passe position, knee facing side. Extend the leg to the front and then draw a circle to the front back into center. Repeat a nice D shape as we extend through that knee. The knee stays in the same place as we draw a circle or stir the pot. Repeat one more time and then all the way back to passe. This time let's switch. So we'll go from the front to that side and then straight back in. 2 more repetitions as you go to the front with a nice straight leg and then to the side and back in. And one more time, draw a nice circle shape and then hold that passe, but we're not done yet. We'll change that into that attitude position out front with a slightly flexed knee. The leg that we're standing on though is super stiff and the leg is lined up with our belly button. Then find that passe position and replicate that same shape out the back. The knee is high, turned out. The leg is slightly bent, toe in line with the belly button, but facing the back. And then one more time to that passe position.
Oh, good.
And then finish in a nice first. So inside and outside circles as we draw, stabilizing at the knee, and then the attitude front and the attitude devant and derrière. Return the leg to the side with a toe point. First, let's just extend out front.
To the side.
To the side, and then we'll take that leg frontwards, and then straight out along the line of the knee. And then back into the middle, and then back out to the side. The hip is low, the leg is high.
Same direction?
Same direction for that third one. And then we'll switch as we'll bring it in, and then go away from the body. In straight to the knee, and a gentle arc as we create that straight line out to the side. Final repetition here, back out to the side, back into passe, and then change it into that attitude position, hold out front, stiff leg out front, toes point, line with belly button, then back to that passe hold, and then externally rotating at that hip, keeping the hips forward, keeping the ribs over those hips, and breathing back to passe, back to the flat foot first position. And push-ups are easy maybe after something like that.
Did he just say push-ups are easy?
Uh-oh.
That's not very nice.
Uh-oh.
All right, let's do 3 times 2 push-ups, which is 6. Follow along. We can do it together. We'll pull ourselves down. We're going to combo everything we've done over the last couple weeks. Let's walk ourselves out to our high position. First, we're going to do a 3-phase push-up. So hold that top position for 3, 2, then come down to mid-station and hold for 3, 2, and then hover off the floor. 3, 2, push back up. Adjust your stance, push the floor forward, rock back to your frog, pull through, push up, pull down, push up. Now 1 regular push up, pull down, push up, repeat the pattern again, top hold, 3, 2, mid station, 3, 2, low hover, 3, 2, up. Push the floor forward to go back, pull through, push up, and ending with 1 regular push up, pull down, press up, walk yourself back to that low stance, and then push through, to tall.
Too tall. Excellent. As we finish today's practice, let's get away from the bar and just challenge ourselves with some weight transfers in the middle. We'll start with the Chico squat. We have 1 more set of push-ups after.
Sure.
Yes, we do now. Okay, so we'll do 2 of these weight transfers. Let's do about 8 repetitions of the squat to start. Start in that first position and just step out to that sumo or second stance. We'll pull ourselves down and let's just find that single leg balance right away and hold and extend or point the leg and land in your squat. And then again, find that power and maybe have the balance aid nearby. Point. This time find that passe position at the knee, and then extend and land, absorbing that landing, and then the same thing on the other side. For the last time each way, the same idea to the knee, but this time extend the leg and lean a little bit. Break that ballet rule, incorporate a nice fun lean, and then land. And as we're doing this, it might bend, but I'm trying so hard to keep both legs straight, particularly the one on the ground. We'll squat, we'll stand, and our final set of push-ups here.
What's it going to be? It will be 5 regular push-ups to round out week 5. Woo, how appropriate. Last time with our squat to walk ourselves out to our top position. The entire time, full body tension. Here we go. Pull down, push up, pull down, push up, pull down, push up. 2 more. Hup. Hup. Good. Press the floor forward, back to that squat. Push to tall. Wipe your brow.
Finish with our very last weight transfer here. Let's return to that first position and our step out to the sumo or second. Pull yourself together that one leg does a flexion or knee bend and the other leg stays straight. Then from this position, might we be able to lift up the leg and hold for 3, 2, touch the floor with the foot, pull it across, staying the same height, and push the other way, and then eventually push so that we lift that leg as well. Then land toe ball heel, and we'll pull ourselves across, finishing with the push on the other side, and this time straighten that standing leg knee. Then gently bend that ankle and standing leg knee, grab the floor, pull, finish push, lift as allowed, stiffen or stretch that standing leg, and then blend that knee bend in together, and we'll pull. And this will be the last repetition here as you repeat the lift, repeat the stretch, and explore that demi or balls of foot balance and hold for a second longer. Then gradually find the ground, blend that knee bend, pull across, finish with a push, a stretch of the standing leg, and safely tall, highest demi or balls of feet as you can. And then we'll land, blend the knee bend, find that middle position, push through, push one leg, go the other, and then we can shake out those legs and call that a very successful week number 5 of 6. But 6 is actually 2 weeks from now. We're taking a little bit of a holiday, so we won't be here next week like usual on Thursday, but join us for that 6th session the following week, still in the month of July.
And we won't be here live, but we're always in the archive.
Always.
So check out our YouTube, check out our Patreon, like and subscribe, watch some videos, follow along. Even if it's 2 minutes at a time, a little bit goes a long way. Thanks for joining us. Take care. Stay strong.
Let's train soon.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.